Hello everyone. So in this particular video, we are going to understand how actually we can create a Spark pool in Azure Synapse Workspace. What is a Spark pool? So a Spark pool, you understand it like a one cluster. One cluster. What is a cluster? Cluster is nothing but it is a group of machine to process a data. Now suppose you have a very large data set. Now this large data set, on top of this, you are applying some kind of the transformation. You are applying some kind of the transformation. So for the transformation you have written one PySpark code. Now to execute this PySpark code you will require a cluster so that you can execute and you can process the large data, right? So this cluster is nothing but a kind of the Spark pool, you can understand. It's nothing but a Spark pool. So let's see how actually we can create a Spark pool in Azure workspace. Let me open my Azure. So I open my Azure account. In this Azure, I have already created a Synapse workspace. So I will search for the Synapse. How to create a Synapse we have already covered in a previous video. So this is the Synapse account we have already created. Now once you will create a Synapse workspace, right? The built-in serverless will already be created. This already we know. In the top you can see new dedicated SQL pool, new Apache Spark. So we can create a Spark pool from here. The second way is like once you will come to the once you'll open the Synapse Studio, right? In the Synapse Studio, go to the manage. You can see Apache Spark pool. Here also we can create a Apache Spark pool. You can see new Apache Spark pool. From here also you can create, and the backside also from here also you can create a new Apache Spark pool. So how to create? Click on the new Apache Spark pool. Once you will click on the create, right, you have to first give the Apache Spark pool name. So I will give name as a compute something. This is just a name, you can give any name. Now after that we have to select the node size. What is the node size? So we'll go with the smallest one because we are just doing a practice, right? Now after that auto scale. So if you want to auto scale, right, if suppose you are processing very large data, then automatically your node size should increase, the auto scale should happen, then you can enable it, otherwise you can disable it, because we are doing a practice, right? So I am just doing disabled. And what is the number of node? I will select the 3. 3 is a lesser one, so I am selecting a 3. If you select the auto scale, so you can see 3 node to the 10 node you will get in auto scaling, or you can increase that also. Like suppose you want 3 to 200, that also is possible. So as of now we are deselecting the auto scale and we are going with the number of node as a 3 because we are doing a practice. Dynamically allocate executor, we will disable it, and based on that you can see estimate price 1.71 USD we are getting based on this configuration. Click on the next. You can say automatic pausing, after 15 minutes if it is idle, right, this will automatically pause. This cluster will be automatically paused. So that is the setting, and rest setting we will go with by default. Allow session level package, we'll just disable it. Click on the next. Click on the next. Now after that all the selection you can see, and we'll click on the create. Now our Spark pool initialize deployment is initialized. We'll wait for it to complete. You can see deployment is completed. Our Spark pool is already completed. So one Spark pool actually got created. If you click on the Azure Synapse Workspace again, one Spark pool we have created, right? The Spark pool will show here. You can see Apache Spark pool in the bottom yard. You can see compute. This is the cluster we have created. Now coming to this Synapse Studio, click on the open. It will open a new workspace. Now go to the home. So we have seen like all the SQL related stuff we were doing into this data option. In a develop option, right? If we'll come here, if we'll click on the notebook, so this will be the similar to the notebook what we have in a Databricks also, right? So here also you can write any kind of the PySpark code. So you can see here we are getting an option one attached to a select Apache Spark pool. So if you had to execute any code, right? So for that you will require a Spark pool. So we have already created one cluster. This is a compute. The name is compute, and we have selected the 3 node cluster. So we will select that so that we can execute our code. As of now you can see this cluster is not yet started, so it is showing a not started, no active session. And after that we can select any Python or any PySpark code. So you can see we can write Spark SQL code, we can write a PySpark code, we can write a Scala code is or Spark R code also we can write. Now let me write a simple code. Let me just write a 1 plus 3. Let's start our cluster, whether let's see whether it's working or not. So you can see our cluster is started. You can see it is running, right? Our cluster is started. It will take few minutes to start the session. Now till then what actually we'll do, we'll write a one PySpark code, one data frame we will create, and we'll try to see how actually we can execute our PySpark code. So what I will do, I will create one data frame. So first I will define a data. In a data, what I will write, I will write a one Manish, comma, two Rahul. This is the data we have. This is the data I am defining to Rahul. Now what actually I will do, I'll create a one column name I want to give ID as well as the name. Now how to create a data frame? So I will write df equal to the spark dot create data frame. Spark dot create data frame will pass the data as well as a column which we have defined here. Now let's see whether our cluster is ready or not. It is still waiting, so we have to wait for some more time to be executed. So what actually we have done till that, we have defined one data, we have defined one column, we are creating one data frame, spark.create data frame, we are passing the data and we are passing the column. Now if you want to see the data frame, how actually you can see, if you will write df.show, you will be able to see the data frame also. So we have to execute this. So for that we have to wait for our cluster to be ready. So you can see it is still waiting mode. So let's wait it to be start. Now you can see it is started and it's running also. You can see we are getting a result, right? It ran successfully. Now this PySpark code we have written, right? This let me try to execute this data frame whether it's running or not. Now you can see this also executed. We can see one data frame we have created, right? And one ID column got created, one name column got created. Now this data frame, if you want to convert into the temporary view of, or if you want to run any SQL command, so how actually we can do? If I write df dot create or replace temp view, I'm going to create one temporary view. So the temp view name is employee. This is the what I am creating. Now if I'll write any SQL code, if I'll write select star from EMP, now if you'll execute, you may get one error select star EMP because we have selected the PySpark, right? Now if I select the Spark SQL here, now if I try to execute this select star from EMP, you can see it is running and you can see ID and name. So whatever the data frame we have created, right, we have converted into one view and now we are able to write any kind of the Spark SQL code also. So like that we can create a notebook and we can execute any kind of the PySpark code. So you can write any kind of the PySpark code and you can execute.